Hi, everyone. I am Dyllan McGee, founder and executive producer of Makers, and this is our very last Makers at Home Live of 2020, and we are going out with a bang. I'm really excited. We have truly, in my eyes, one of the leading feminists today with us, Fatima Goss Graves. She is the president and CEO of the National Women's Law Center. And I have to read her Twitter description is lawyer, activist, optimist, runner, mom, sister, friend, wife. I can't wait to hear about the optimist part of that. Anyway, she is here with us today, so let's bring her on. Fatima, I'm coming. Oh, I love it. We have someone from Bangalore joining. Oh, there she is. You're always, can I just tell you, the last time I saw you, you had just come from your virtual gala. You were all glammed up.
I had straight hair.
You did, which is not your usual look.
No, not at all.
But you're always looking glam and fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
I am good. I feel like I have made it to the end of 2020.
I know.
And I'm here to celebrate that.
It's such a common thing right now. It's like, how are you feeling? Like, I made it. I'm here. I survived.
That's right.
And you,
right.
Well, I again, as I said in the intro, you say you're an optimist. Did this year put that optimism to the test?
It did. I mean, I actually think hope is like a practice. You got to work at it.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I think if you do justice work, you're probably leaning towards the optimist end of things anyway. Like, you clearly got to believe change is possible in the world, but we've never seen anything like this.
No.
There was no way we knew what to do. We were all kind of making it up this year on how to survive a pandemic, how to work and care at the same time,
how to deal with a pandemic within the pandemic.
Right. What to do where there's all of a sudden really visible racial inequities and you have opportunity. Like, we didn't know what to do this year. And so I feel like surviving to the end of it is to be celebrated.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You did it. We did it. We all survived. I also just saw that you were named to a Forbes advisory group, which sounds really cool.
I am excited about it.
Yeah.
I mean, so I believe in sort of cross-pollination, cross-sector. And so it's like a bunch of people who are not at all like me, whose work is not at all like mine. And being able to be in community with them,
Cool.
I do think change is possible. So I say yes, probably too much, but I say yes when I think there could be something special.
Well, it's like Shonda Rhimes, right? It's like the year of yes. We have to.
I did
Did you do
I'm
it?
doing that
Peloton
meditation, that Peloton meditation. So I did it
with
this
Chelsea.
morning. Yes, it was beautiful. Like, what a way to sort of get my mind right for 2021. So thank you, Shonda. And thank you,
again.
Peloton.
Thank you. How many times do we have to say thank you, Shonda? But
Right.
it's a great example. And I will say, I do think that 2020 was a year of innovation, right? So you say, like, all of a sudden you're with Forbes now and doing something that's out of your usual network.
Yeah.
Shonda doing this collaboration with Peloton, maybe maybe that's what we need to bring these different worlds together.
I actually think we are testing new ideas. There are lots of things that everybody said, oh, that's impossible. Now, okay, well, maybe they are more possible. We're thinking about work differently. I'm confident we're thinking about care entirely wrong. And so, like, that has been a hot mess.
Well, that's not my questions. I'm not even going to my questions yet, but I want to talk. I mean, you are, again, you're just, it's like one of these amazing feminists who's in all these buckets. And And one of them is caregiving, and you've done work with Pivotal. They've supported you, or can you tell us about the importance of caregiving and what we need to look to do in 2021?
Yeah, Melinda Gates, I don't know if you saw the op-ed that she wrote, maybe it was last week, sort of really being very pointed about the care crisis in this country and what it's going to take for all of us to solve it. And there are a lot of folks who've been doing this work for many, many years. The Law Center has been working on childcare in particular, but care as a connection to women's work really since the beginning, over 40 years ago. But this year is unlike anything we have seen. And the really ridiculous and fragile system we had just crumbled before all of our eyes. And so what you've had is women working and caregiving and homeschooling and teaching and like basically being stressed out this year. And there are short and long-term results of it, right? Like women have left the workforce at levels that we haven't seen ever.
Yeah.
And they're now working in terms of workforce participation at the levels women were working in the mid-'80s. And so what does it mean that we have done this and sort of allowed this burden to so heavily fall? And both, again, I think short term, but also long term. If you like go to the grocery store, people are masked up, which is good, but you can see in the eyes, people are stressed. They are barely hanging on.
But, and it's so, it's funny because you hear some people saying, well, maybe this pandemic and working from home is great for women because, it shows that you don't always have to, it was having to go to the office that was holding women back, but the number that doesn't.
I actually think we have learned and now have dramatically new tools that enable people to work remotely in ways we didn't have before. And that's a thing that I hope that we will learn from and build on going forward. But the story that people aren't telling is both about the isolation and the loneliness and the stress and the fact that people aren't just working from home, they're working during a pandemic while caring and homeschooling. Yeah. And that is not a lesson to learn. It is not like the fact that people will have made it to the end doesn't mean like, let's keep this going.
No. Yeah, I know. Oh God, it is so clear. The optimism does come from, like, thank God you're fighting all these fights for us. Look at you. Okay, I saw on Twitter the exciting new 1 billion for Black Girls initiative. Talk about that.
So, and again, you're going to think that I'm here to talk about Shondaland because it was also last night they actually tied to the season finale of Grey's Anatomy featured 1 billion for Black girls. But there's a number of us who have been doing this work for a lot of years in support of Black girls and really Black girl freedom. And we came together, all Black women leaders some who run direct programs, some who do advocacy work, some in philanthropy, and said, what would it take for us to shine a light and make visible what it is Black girls experience and align together in support of their freedom, their joy, their leadership, their passion. And we all got super excited and started working towards it and wanted an audacious goal. We didn't want to be like, okay, let's see if we can raise $1 million for Black girls throughout the United States. We were like, no, we're going to launch it big because that's what Black girls deserve. And in support of Black girlhood, Black freedom, we partnered with Phenomenal and they did these such good shirts that I love. And so stay tuned. You're going to be hearing more about how to get involved and how to support. And if you value and love and support the future and freedom for Black girls, this is a space to be.
It's so exciting. And it's just what a force of women that you're all together. And I can only imagine. Sometimes I think maybe $1 billion's too small.
I know. Well, that's what I was like. Well, are we too small with $1 billion? Everyone's like, chill out.
But in all seriousness, if people are watching, because this will this will continue on Makers and it'll be posted all of next week, and people are looking for year-end donations, right?
Yes, they can go to it's 1 billion for Black girls. They can go there. They can find it on the Grant Makers for Girls of Color website, all sorts of information about the groups that are supported and the founders of the campaign. And please do get involved.
Good. Well, talk about a moment for, I would think I could say, particularly Black girls. Kamala Harris becoming the first woman of color vice president. What did that feel like for you?
So here's the thing. I have two sons. And
me too.
They were born in, they were like, I like joke that they were born the years of Obama. One was born fall of '08. The other was born right before 12. And they have only known the idea of that it's perfectly normal to have a Black man as president. Like that's, and it changed. Like my younger son used to walk around and say things like, well, when I become president, but very casually, because he'd seen it, right? And he saw it as possible. And I was in tears on the day she and Joe Biden made their speeches, because she was standing up there in her white, and I realized that Black and South Asian girls in this country, they've now seen it. They've seen someone in the White House, and they know that they could be there too, that they don't have to wonder whether it's possible. I'm getting choked up again. It matters. It matters.
It does matter. And she is, what, I know so much of your work. I mean, I can only imagine what the work has been like at the National Women's Law Center, the past 4 years, and the uphill battle and what needs to be untangled in the next 4. What are your biggest hopes for this new administration, for the work that you do? Yeah,
so they have a lot to do. And so I am like celebrating, and also kind of like, you guys have to hit the ground running really fast. The last 4 years, we have been in an extraordinarily defensive posture, right? We have had to sue the Trump administration more than 5 times around equal pay, around contraception, around religious refusals, around the Title IX sexual violence rule. I mean, we have spent a lot of time holding the line, putting our fingers in the breach, sort of saying, we like protector mode.
Right.
And now we are launching forward. And so unfortunately, they don't have the luxury of just sort of restoring things to 4 years ago. The needs are so urgent. They actually have to take care of some of those unlawful rules, but they got to launch us forward. They got to launch us forward for the essential workers. They don't launch us forward so that people have access to the healthcare they need. They have to actually reset our public narrative on so much. Right? Reset how we think about survivors of sexual violence. Reset how we think about access to reproductive health care. Reset and actually use the language of essential the way we've been feeling it in our hearts and bones, right? We've learned all these mostly women are essential workers, right? 1 in 3 Black women working right now are essential workers. Yeah. We need to reset the narrative and have policies to match. So they can't like coast in. I think they know this. They have to like go in racing.
Right. Yeah. No holiday break for you people.
I'm sorry. I'm like, ooh, that sounds terrible. But yeah, you guys have to get to work.
Hit the ground running. How are you feeling about, the cabinet selections and today's, it's Deb Haaland?
Deb Haaland.
Yeah.
So we will have the first Indigenous woman to be in a cabinet ever. The first Indigenous. I actually was kind of like, how do we pause and mark so many of these moments? But also the fact that she will be over interior and what that means around
how symbolic it is.
The symbolism of it, her ability to bring a totally different perspective around the Indigenous lands, around her background as a former tribal leader. Like there is so much that she will bring that we've never had at the top of the Department of Interior, but also there are people like Javier Becerra, who's the nominee for HHS, who has been a champion for decades on a range of health issues and was such a leader as the Attorney General in California. Huge. And so,
has anyone surprised you?
I mean, there have been some surprises. Like, for example, this is not a position that has to be confirmed. I was initially surprised when I saw Ambassador Susan Rice as the head of DPC. Right. What an opportunity. Somebody whose name was considered for cabinet is going to be leading policy in the White House. I mean, she was considered for VP. So, like, that is huge. Yeah. I sort of see her as like driving that policy agenda with so much authority, and I am so excited to see her in that role. So, there have been some surprises, but there are so many people who are just smart, confident, about business folks.
And who need to get busy.
To work. They got to get busy. I'm just like, yes, fantastic.
Okay. Speaking of work, now we're going to talk about you and getting to work. You and we've just had this wonderful connection through Time's Up.
Yeah.
And it's obviously an organization we both love and adore. And I'm curious, what's next for you with Time's Up? What are the initiatives that you got cooking?
Yeah, I mean, so when Time's Up was founded, basically now 3 years ago, it sort of transformed what we thought was possible and shook up the cultural game. And I am just really deeply passionate about it. And the National Women's Law Center continues to house and run the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund, which for our team there, the idea that we are continuing to be able to find attorneys and find storyteller support for workers who are experiencing safety concerns on the job, it has been game-changing individually, but game-changing culturally. And I'm just so proud to be a part of that work. And so proud to be in community with so many people, especially people with who are influencers who have like really big, broad reach, who said, actually, I'm turning this over for issues that I'm passionate about. I've never seen that on that scale. And so Time's Up is going to, I continue to be involved with Time's Up on the board too. Time's Up is going to continue to lead. I don't know if you saw the We Have Her Back campaign that was a brainchild of Time's Up. It was so good to be a part of it. And frankly, we were like, he has said he's going to nominate a woman as a vice president. What will the media do?
Yeah, I know.
And so we did a shot across the bow before anything had been named, before we had VP-elect Harris, because we knew they would be leaning into sex stereotypes, leaning into race stereotypes. Yes. And so to be able to flank and tell the media, be better. We expect you not to be like, are they qualified? They're too ambitious. I don't like what they wear. We're better than that, or we got to be better.
Well, if you can believe it, we're already out of 20 minutes goes by. I'm like, wait, I need more time. But I'm not letting you go before you and I have a tiny bit of fun together, which is because it's the end of the year. We love you. We just want to do, which we have this. I haven't done this with any of the guests this year, but felt like a fun way to end, which is a lightning round where I give you either or, and you just pick which feels more like you.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
I knew it. I could have guessed that. I know. That's when you're like looking through all your, oh my gosh. Okay. Type A, easygoing.
Type A. Well, you're type A at work, easygoing at home. My husband would not say I'm type A.
Higher math or verbal score?
Oh, math.
Math. That's interesting. Okay. I would think law, verbal. Okay. I love that. Prepare or cram?
Cram.
Cram. I thought, okay. All right. Book smart, street smart.
Probably book smart.
But speaking of books, how do you consume books? Audio or physical?
Physical.
Not even ebooks?
I mean, sometimes I'm like old school, but I do sometimes.
Okay. All right. Something you wish you did more of?
Meditate.
Well, you started with Shonda.
I did it.
Okay. So far, so good.
I
So
gotta
you started
keep it
with
up.
more of it. Something you wish you did less of?
Worry.
I like that one. That I have that too. My happy place is ...
Oh, the beach. No
You're a beach.
question.
You're a beach girl.
I am a beach girl with ocean coming in.
Is there a particular beach you love?
Yes, Hilton Head, South
Oh,
Carolina. It is my happy place. Beach
oh.
and trees.
Well, it will. I don't think will you be there over the holidays? No. Okay. We're skipping over that. Okay. Two more. Cook at home or order in?
My husband cooks, I order.
Good.
I can't even pretend. I cook Thanksgiving.
Okay, final one. This is a tough one. Barack or Michelle Obama?
I mean, Michelle. I mean,
Okay.
that's actually not that tough.
We won't
I
tell
mean,
him.
I love the first Black POTUS, but Michelle Obama.
It's all about FLOTUS. Come on. Come on. All right. Since you are our final guest of the year, any words of wisdom, advice for 2021?
Well, the only thing I want to say is there's lots of stuff for 2020 that we need to leave behind, but I hope people are taking in some of the 2020 bright spots into 21, like the tiny moments of joy, the things that seemed impossible. Like, let's take it into 2021 and reset.
I love it. All right. Well, we adore you at Makers. Thank you for all you do. I know you're telling the administration that there's work to do. I know you are unstoppable, and you are always working and pushing things forward for all of us. So thank you for all you do. You are a gift to the world, and I look forward to seeing what you got up your sleeve in 2021.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays. Bye. Well, there you have it. Take the little bright lights, the little ones that you found in 2020, and bring them with you into 2021. Thank you all for being a part of our Makers community this year. We experimented doing these Makers at Home Live. We're thrilled that you're tuning in and sharing with us. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you in 2021. Bye.